Hello all and welcome to the Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F1 2018 Leagues. Luke Etheridge here alongside Stanley Jones making his AOR commentary debut. Yeah, you've joined right where the action is. It's round 18 of the PlayStation 4 Tier 4 and today they will be racing around the Circuit of the Americas for the United States Grand Prix. Now, if you weren't with us last time out in Japan, it was a fascinating race. We saw Saab, the new Frenchman, in the Ferrari qualify on pole for his debut, but unfortunately for him, he disconnected during the formation lap. And when he reconnected, he caused a bit of problems for Jompalainen. The two of them collided. That brought out the virtual safety car, and then Jompalainen received a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC, leaving the way clear for his title rival Geordie to take the race win and close the gap to within 1 point in the championship. So I think many F1 fans in the real world would like to have seen the championship battle with just 1 point between the drivers with 4 races to go. So it looked. Yeah, very tight and twisty, the final sector here. The first sector all about the S's mainly. The second sector pretty much just a couple of corners and the long back straight where you'd expect to see a lot of overtaking action during the race. So a few of the cars are coming out on track now for the qualifying session. 18 minutes of qualifying and a lot of drivers going for the faster ultra soft tyres, which surprises me because I find they wear very quickly around this circuit, so they could be pitting very early if they set their fastest laps on these. Yes, especially when the field is as close as it is. We've seen quite a few times in qualifying where all the cars have been separated by around a second. For Andy Thompson, as usual. Yes, Super Mario making his debut this season. Hasnain on the soft tyres as well. That is a clever tactic that Hasnain has used quite often this season, going for the harder tyres in qualifying. We'll have a quick look on board with Randy Thompson for a hot lap around the Circuit of the Americas, braking hard into turn 1. Very wide uphill braking zone, and he got it quite wrong there, running very wide indeed. Now coming up through the S's based on the Beckett Chapel sequence at Silverstone. Similar to the S's at Japan, it's all about keeping a good rhythm through here. It's building up, got to be careful with track limits as always. Moving up towards turn 10, I believe. Heavy braking. Getting ready for the long back straight. Yeah, maybe the tyres beginning to overheat quite a bit. Now a slow, twisty stadium section based on Hockenheim's stadium. You can see a lot of battles continuing through here, but unless you're already alongside a car, it's very difficult to overtake through this final part of the track. Billy O'Connor in the chat asking who I think will get pole. I'm going to take a risk on Slimbo. He's definitely up for trying to get third place in the championship, and he's shown good pace so far this season, winning 2 races, but we'll see what Randy Thompson can do. 132.7, I'll be very surprised if that is not bettered almost instantly by a few of the drivers. Ibrahim's mentioned that there is rain towards the end. That could be the end of qualifying, looking at this sky, or maybe the end of race. That definitely spice things up for some of the drivers. Yeah, 131.6 for Geordie. Schnicksel's done a 132.6, but he is on those super soft tyres. So counting in for the offset, that's a pretty decent lap by Schnicksel. And both Sauber drivers had a good run last out in Japan, and Pedro, that's more like it, 130.742. So a few drivers say they're expecting pole position to be somewhere in the low to mid 1 minute 30, so that's a very good opening shot there from Pedro. John Polainen climbs up to second, half a second behind the Spaniard at the moment. Just see what Slimbo can do as he finishes off his first lap. I picked him for pole. Is that going to be a commentator's curse? 131.0, second place at the moment. Yeah, a few of the drivers coming round to finish their laps. Go on board with Super Mario. Not raced this season yet in this tier. Yeah, interesting that he's decided to go for the ultra soft tyres. We were saying they do wear quite a bit more, but maybe he's just going with the majority of the field. The top 10, of course, do have to start on the tyres that they qualify on. He's just slowing down to get a good possible run to start his faster lap. A few of the others coming into the pit lane now. So it's Pedro out on pole at the moment. Slimbo and Jon Polainen second and third. Geordie will be alongside his championship rival as it stands, but they're quite big gaps so far, and so I expect to see them shrinking as qualifying goes on and the drivers begin to push a bit more. Hasnain on his soft tyres, the only driver to go for those soft tyres. He's still got a slim chance perhaps of getting third in the championship, 28 points behind Pedro, who currently has that third place, and Williams can get the Constructors' Championship here in Austin if they outscore Haas by 26 points. And with Geordie once again being the only Haas driver here, that's definitely going to help their chances, but the American is in good form, so I think it's more likely to be Mexico where Williams take that crown. Yeah, Hasnain does a 133.6, but it was invalidated, so I won't be surprised to see him coming to the pits again soon, because it does not look like the soft tyres are working out for him at the moment. Geordie, last week's race winner, got himself to within a point of Jon Polainen. He'll be hoping for a good performance. Has generally been one of the fastest guy, I'd say, so far this season, but has had a bit more bad luck than Jon Polainen. Jon Polainen scored points in every round since Spain, while Geordie's had a couple of races where he's not attended and a couple of DNFs, so he can't afford any of them over the final 4 races of the season. Yeah, his retirement in Italy was especially unlucky, just collecting professional after professional, kind of inexplicably came back onto track after a spin, so it's just, you never know what might happen. See what Geordie can do on his qualifying lap. Yeah, his first lap was invalidated for Super Mario. I have seen a few drivers say they feel like track limits could be a issue. There are a few corners where you can get away with it. I know the penultimate corner you can probably get very close to the wall, even quite a long way off track, but I feel if you did that, some of the other drivers would report you to the stewards. The S is quite a bit stricter on track limits around some parts of the circuit, so we have seen in real F1 though quite a few drivers go wide, especially at that corner we've just seen Geordie go through just before the hairpin coming onto the back straight. A few drivers do tend to push the track limits here a bit more than they do at some other circuits. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely something that the FIA keeps saying they're going to look at, but if everyone's doing it, they're not really gaining much of an advantage, are they? And it does look pretty spectacular if you can just push a bit harder to get flat out through a corner. Monaco. Yeah, Monaco, funnily enough, everyone manages to stick to track limits. Can't think why. When there's a wall there. Mr. Bread noting that Hasnain's had another invalidated lap. Geordie improves to a 131.676. He's now down in 5th because Ibrahim in the second Force India goes up to a 131.390. Everyone who's set a lap time at the moment has set it, apart from Schnitzel, should I say, has set it on the super soft, but the Dutchman is now out on the ultra soft with just 7.5 minutes to go. Professional Super Mario and Hasnain still yet to set a lap time. Yeah, we did see a debutant take pole last time out in Japan, so they could have an impact on this championship still if they show their pace, especially with the next season. I imagine starting fairly soon, they'll want to show that they can live with the guys in this tier and perhaps even move up onto a faster tier. Professional coming to the end of what may be his first lap time. If it's clean, it is clean, but it's not spectacular. 132.7 on the super softs. That is a bit more spectacular from Slimbo. 130.623 provisional pole position for the Brit. But if he was held up, if he feels he's held up, he may well appeal to the stewards. Pedro's got a lot of podiums this season, but not yet won a race. So there'll be another driver hoping for some good action this time out in Austin. There's another podium in Japan with 3rd place and a 130.9. Not a faster lap time for Pedro, so he'll be coming back into the pits. There's still a third of the session to go. Just 2 temps separating the top 3 of Slimbo, Pedro and Geordie, who've snuck into the top 3 at the moment. Can't separate him and his title rival Jompalainen in 4th at the moment. Championship leader just heading back to the pits, I believe. Not on a flying lap at the moment. 5.5 minutes gone. It's Slimbo, Pedro, Geordie, Jompalainen, Ibrahim, Breezy Stickshall, Schumacher, Randy Thompson and Professional, your top 10. Undefined, the only other driver to have set a lap time at the moment. Yeah, perhaps being a bit stricter in qualifying than it can be in the race. Barely clean through the hairpin. He's got the Red Bull of Pedro up ahead of him. So you said, Stan, that you felt Mario had held up Pedro slightly. Maybe Pedro might return the favour here. Nah, just enough of a gap. There's Geordie getting well out of the way and Mario using all of the mode and a bit more, and yeah, maybe another invalidated lap time, or maybe just feeling he's gone a bit more. Looking at the tyres, so everyone's fastest lap apart from Professional and well, Hasnain gets a set a lap, is on those ultra soft tyres, which could make the strategy very interesting in the first few laps, because they will have to go a long way on those soft tyres if they pit on the ultra soft. I imagine they'll have to come in the first 5 laps realistically. Yeah, we saw this year Kimi Raikkonen managing to get his tyres to last a lot longer and doing a very good job of holding Lewis Hamilton up. The Iceman taking his last win so far. Very interesting pit line there, but he's got away with it. He's still in the session. Won't want to do that in the race, so that's going to slow him up slightly in this session. Schumacher now coming around. He's in the Mercedes. He has won a race this season in Germany. 5th in the championship at the moment. 6 points off of Pedro for 3rd place. So got good battles all through the field to watch out for. And Mercedes do mathematically have a chance of winning the championship, but I think they've pretty much got to get 1-2s every race from now on and hope neither of the Williams drivers score points. So there's no harm in trying, but I'd be very doubtful if it is anyone but the Williams team winning the title. And it'll be nice to see Williams winning the title, because I can't see, judging by how the way F1 testing, them having another struggle of a season this time around. Schumacher does improve, 132.091, so that's his 8th at the moment. It's just Mario and Hasnain yet to select a lap time, leaving it very, very late. Quite impressed we haven't seen more drivers locking up. I tried driving around here with anti-lock brakes off earlier. Pretty much every corner I was catching at least one of the brakes. Heading up into the first turn, had both front tyres locked up. So you do need a certain element of skill that I'm definitely lacking, I feel, to keep your tyres in good shape around this circuit. You could see a very interesting lap 1, turn 1 as well, with such a wide corner. So many different lines to take through there. Hasnain sticking to the racing line through the final couple of corners to set, hopefully, his first lap time of qualifying. 131.9 on those super softs, good enough for 8th at the moment. Go on board with Geordie. This will be his final lap, I believe. Yeah, Hasnain, you've got to imagine if it was on ultra softs, that would have been good enough for a top 4 place. Not an ideal preparation. Schumacher's quit the session, so he's, I think he knows time enough. Geordie easy, pushing it as hard as possible. It's showing no ERS and no DRS, so I think he's just taking it easy. Has he got enough time to get one more lap in though? He's only just coming down the back straight. I think he's going to find it tough to get another lap in. Schnitzel's in the pits as well, so he's had enough of qualifying, so it looks like Slimbo's got a good chance of getting pole position. He missed qualifying in Japan, which I know he was annoyed about, and that meant he could only finish 10th in the race, but he's been driving with the attitude of he's got nothing to lose in the last few races. And Ibrahim's gone up to 2nd as well, and Geordie, he hasn't got enough time, he's run out of time. So he's 5th. Ibrahim's retired from the session. Schnitzel is going to be guaranteed no higher than 8th. Hasnain comes into the pits, so we'll see who else can stop them now. Pedro, is he coming round? He's still in sector 1, so maybe he's got a chance of stopping the All Force India front row at the moment. Just keeping it nice and tidy. There's a car a long way ahead of him, but too far behind to have any real slipstream effect, you feel. Coming down the back straight now, DRS wide open. Taking as much as that curve as he dares at the end of the 2nd sector. Though he's still pushing as hard as possible, so you've got to say the lap is still on. He got away with that slight bit of corner cutting perhaps. He's going to have to go even faster now. Slimbo 130.5. Pedro runs wide. I can't see it being enough. Oh, He also in the 130.5s, he splits to Force India's. Breezy's just on a slow lap back to the pit lane, so that will be your order for this American Grand Prix. And I think for the first time in recorded history, remember the date people, the 3rd of March 2019, I got a prediction right. Yeah, there is you can't gain too much time, I'd say, through there by going too fast, but you can definitely lose some if you don't get a good enough exit onto the main straight, especially when you're warming up to a lap. So we'll run through the qualifying order. Slimbo just takes pole position from Pedro in the Red Bull. Ibrahim completing the Force India sandwich of the lone Red Bull. Super Mario, good qualifying to take 4th in his first session. The 2 title rivals, Jordi and Jompalainen on the 3rd row. Breezy managing 7th, carrying on some of his good form from last time. Randy Thompson, Schnitzel, Hasnain, the only driver in the top 10 on the Super Soft. Then Schumacher, Professional and Undefined, your qualifying times. Could definitely be good to see how Hasnain and especially those outside the top 10 do with different strategies, perhaps. Yeah, indeed. Jompalainen has been generally fairly good this season at keeping his tyres last, pulling off 1 stops when I've not expected him to. But in Germany, we saw Schumacher win from 11th on the grid, taking advantage of the fact that he had fresh choice of tyres at the start of the race. So maybe someone from lower back could do well. Undefined does have a win this season and he'll be starting in last place, but he's not saying it's a track he enjoys, so I'll be surprised to see him managing a win. Pedro saying that he left too much space on the last corner, so that's pretty much agreeing with what you said, Stan, that Slimbo was a lot better through that final turn. Yeah, it's sort of just linked to your driving style, and that is pretty much an integral part of you. You change that, you're probably gonna be a lot slower driver because it's not coming naturally to you anymore. Talking about tyres, it's for top 9s on Ultras and Hasnain on Super Softs, but we knew that from qualifying. Schumacher and Professional have also gone for the Supers. Undefined has gone for the soft tyre. Expect those on the Super Softs to pit somewhere between lap 8 to 11. Change to the softs. Those on the softs probably between lap 16 to 18. Those on the ultra softs, I'd expect first 5 laps and they will be coming in. So who would you say your money's on for this race? Knowing what we do about the tyre strategies that we're going for. Yeah, yeah, Pedro's been decent. Super Mario's an unknown quantity, of course. We don't know what he's like, so Jompalainen might be a bit more hesitant passing him in the early stages than he would some of the other drivers, perhaps. That is a bold prediction, but I can see where you're coming from. I think I'd be surprised if Jordi and Jompalainen finish 5th and 6th, but I'd expect them to move their way, at least one of them, to move up their way up the order, but they'll both be hoping for clean races. Jordi's penalty nearly cost him a win last time out in Japan, and Jompalainen's drive-through penalty definitely cost him a chance of getting on the podium, and that is why we only have a 1-point gap now coming into the final 4 races. They're beginning to line up on the grid. This should be a good one. Yeah, we said there's quite a few different lines you can take through there. Slimbo, Pedro, Ibrahim and Super Mario don't really have anything to lose so far this season. So the lights come on. 5 lights are on, and we will be racing in America. And it is a good start from Pedro. Slimbo's had a bit of a nightmare. Pedro's already in the lead going into turn 1. Randy Thompson coming from nowhere. He's up to second already. He's taking advantage, and is there a spinner behind? Is that Jordi Jompalainen? It's Hasnain, I apologise. Jordi's been involved in a spin there, and Jompalainen's dropped back as well. So I said they wouldn't be 5th and 6th, but they're down to 9th and 10th. But up front, Pedro has taken the lead from 2nd on the grid. Schnitzel already has a penalty. Randy Thompson coming from quite far back. Ibrahim's got ahead of Slimbo, so the Force India's 3rd and 4th at the moment. Schnitzel 5th with his penalty. Super Mario's dropped back, but what happened with Jompalainen and Jordi to find themselves back there and getting involved in those collisions? Yeah. So must surely have been involved in some, and as he got front winged, he's got quite heavy front damage to his front wing as well. Yes, I wonder if there was any contact with Jompalainen, because the Finn was ahead on the grid, of course. Stephen Banks here agreeing with what you said at the start, that if Hasnain keeps it clean, he can get pretty high up. I don't know. He doesn't look to have any damage, so that slight incident at the start hasn't cost him too much. But at the end of lap 1, it's Pedro in the lead, and Super Mario and Breezy already coming in for new tyres, because I definitely didn't see them get involved in any incidents. Now Jompalainen looks nice and clean, so it's Pedro, Randy Thompson, Ibrahim, Slimbo and Schnitzel, your top 5 at the moment. 5 drivers pitting at the end of lap 1, some with damage, some just feeling that it's the better strategy. So even though Jompalainen's dropped a few places initially, he can't complain too much. He's back up to 6th, and his only title rival is out of the points at the moment. But I'd beware, Jordi could be very good throughout this race if he can save his tyres. It's the joys of not really having anything to lose, and the Force India's battling quite hard for 3rd place at the moment. Slimbo getting ahead of Ibrahim. Randy Thompson knows he's not involved in any title battles. He can just have fun, and having a bit too much fun there and running wide, allowing the rest to catch up to him. Pedro's already built himself over 2-second lead, so he'll be well out of the DRS zone. Just, is he taking too much out the tyres perhaps? We'll have to wait and see. As I mentioned, DRS enabled. Slimbo's in the slipstream of Randy Thompson, but I imagine the McLaren doing everything he can to keep him behind. As long as he can keep it tidy through the S's, you imagine the Force India will have a great chance down the back straight. Yeah, I've mentioned Pedro's yet to have a win. You feel with the way things are going so far, this could definitely be his best opportunity so far this season. He did win out on track in France, but penalties dropped him off the podium in what was a crazy, wet, dry race. Slimbo just... Yeah, Jordi has managed to get past his fellow American. He's up to 11th, so Breezy will be his next target. Slimbo is in the DRS zone. He's going to have a late break down the inside. Locks up slightly. Randy Thompson gives him room. He'll have the inside for the next corner. Ibrahim will be hoping to get involved in this as well. Seems to have all settled down though, and Randy Thompson has defended his place, but that's just allowing Pedro to get away a bit more. Schnitzel staying on the back of this as well, and Jompalainen and Schumacher you feel will be joining soon, especially seeing as Schumacher and Hasnain, their tyres should definitely last a lot longer than those in front of them. Yeah, this may not affect those further down the field as much as they've wanted. Is Slimbo going to have a go into turn one? Just hear the brakes locking up there. Randy Thompson trying to stay with him, but not able to do so. So Slimbo up to second. Will he be able to pull up? We'll now see if he can pull away from Randy Thompson, or if Pedro's pace is just natural. But Randy Thompson already looks to be struggling quite a lot. Oh, and a bigger kick of oversteer there as well at the end of them. So you'd expect Ibrahim to be making it. 2 Force Indias getting past the McLaren in 2 laps. Yeah, I think DRS could just save Randy Thompson here because it was just within a second of Slimbo at the activation point. You can see the 2 GP1 boys closing up in the background as well. Further down the field, Breezy is fairly close to the back of Super Mario as well for 9th and 10th place. The leaders out of those who had to stop on the first lap. Will he be able to do anything into the straight, or is he just too far behind, I feel? I don't even... Yeah. Yeah, Ibrahim has had pace this season, but quite often has found himself in the wall. He could definitely do with a clean race. He's only managed to get 4 points this season. I feel if it weren't for incidents, he'd be on at least 40. And Slimbo is breaking away from these a bit. It's got the gap to Pedro down to 2.4. Randy Thompson's beginning to just escape a bit from Ibrahim and Schnitzel. Schnitzel starting to come under pressure from Jon Palainen and Schumacher. Hasnain a bit further back, and then it's Mario and Breezy battling with Geordie, Professional and Undefined outside the points. I'd expect to see a few of these top guys pitting soon to get rid of those ultra soft tyres. They'll want to stretch them as long as possible to make the one stop a more realistic option, however. And finding himself dragged along, Ibrahim braking very late into the hairpin there, nearly collecting Randy Thompson. Luckily, no harm done. Geordie picking up a penalty just to show how hard he is pushing at the moment. Slimbo's now got it down to 1.7 seconds. He said he felt good before this race, and I think he's just showing why. Must be frustrating for a driver when you've done so well in qualifying and then you just get too much wheel spin at the start. Pretty much ruined his first few laps before he even got anywhere near turn one. We'll see if he has got maybe a slight bit of damage there, but nothing too major. He'll be able to hold off to the pit stops at least. He's behind. Yeah, I can see he's struggling a bit as Schumacher closes up slightly there to him now, so won't be surprised to see Jon Palainen coming in to the next few laps. I think a bit of damage to the right side of the front wing, but not as substantial as Geordie's was earlier. Yeah, I think that answered the question, how much was he being held up by Randy Thompson? His teammate's still stuck behind the Norwegian in the McLaren, but Slimbo's just over a second behind Pedro now. Could get very interesting in the next couple of laps. Does seem to be using quite a lot of ERS though to catch up to the back, so may have to do a bit of saving just to make sure that when he does catch up to the back of Pedro, he's got some extra energy to give him a boost past the Spaniard. Just caught the end. Yeah, just caught the end of Ibrahim running wide there and getting himself a penalty. Schnitzel and Jompalainen both pitting. Ibrahim, is he going to have a go down into turn 1 on the McLaren? Looks late. Oh. I thought that was going to end in contact there. I think we're both Schnitzel and Jompalainen going for the soft tyres, coming out in 7th and 8th at the moment. Jompalainen has actually been passed by Super Mario and Breezy, so changing that front wing has cost him a bit of time. Ibrahim gets past Randy Thompson before the DRS zone, but he will still have that advantage. Slimbo has the advantage on Pedro as well. Pedro defends to the inside line. Slimbo's going to have to do this the long way round, you feel. Fair racing for the two of them. Not able to do the undercut at that point, but you can see how much pace he's got. But like you said, Star, no, hits the back of him. I don't think Pedro will be too happy about that. I was just about to say, before that collision, you said earlier it's very difficult to overtake for this last part of the track, and I think Slimbo pretty much forced the issue a bit too much there. Yeah, the vicious circle of overheating your rear tyres, losing more grip and then causing yourself to slide and overheat them even more. The front 4 have done well to last 7 laps on these tyres, though I would expect them to start coming in soon. We'll see how others catch up. Pedro earning himself a time penalty now, so this will be something to keep an eye on in the final stages. We'll see how it can affect the order. But Slimbo's already got himself a second ahead of Pedro, so you can see why he was so desperate to get past the Red Bull. Yes, Slimbo, I think he was in the opposite situation earlier on in the season a few times where he just blasted away at the start of the race. I think, remember, 2 races in a row he did that, and then Geordie just caught up. Everything locked up on Schumacher's car. Doesn't make the corner, but can he just keep the move sticking? Yeah, and Randy Thompson nearly collecting Schumacher in a bigger way than Slimbo and Pedro did earlier, but the super softs and the soft tyres definitely look like the tyres to be on right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see Randy Thompson pitting, because he's looked like he struggled more than anyone else, and he does dive into the pits. So we'll wait. Yeah, Ibrahim's coming into the pits as well. I definitely think they're trying to make those ultra softs last, just so the one stop is a lot easier to do. Interested by Undefined's choice of strategy at the back of the field. He's on these super softs at the moment, so he's going for a 2-stop, but doesn't seem to be making the most of it at the moment, struggling quite a lot. Pedro's retired from the Pedro's crashed out, sorry. Safety car out as well. Pedro's crashed out through the S's, so, and I believe our first safety car of the season. Just see from Ibrahim's onboard view, you might still be able to see the Red Bull parked off to the side of the track. Now it's been cleared now, but disaster for Pedro. We're saying they've done well to make the ultra soft last. He's just pushed them a bit too far. Undefined comes into the pits. Will we see anyone else come in? I'd imagine now's the time for Slimbo, and maybe even Schumacher and Hasday to just think about pitting under the safety car and taking advantage of it. Yeah, pushing too hard maybe to catch up with Slimbo. I did see, I think the lap before, he got a 5-second penalty there for corner limit, so he's definitely been struggling over the last few laps. Slimbo does indeed come to the pits, absolutely no surprise there. Oh, and gets himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. saw that happen with Jon Palainen last week under the virtual safety car. The exact same thing, just got caught out by it. So he's going to have to serve that within 3 laps as well once we go green. So it's not like it's something he can appeal. That can't be a deliberate. Surely that's a mistake. Well, after those pit stops, Hasdane finds himself in 4th position. So yours and Stephen's prediction of the podium's not looking too bad, with Slimbo having a drive-through penalty and Schumacher having ultra softs. Yeah, definitely. Is this an attempt to... I can't see him in 18 laps being able to make a big enough gap on the to get past Slimbo, make a big enough gap to pit again and stay in the lead on those, on what you'd imagine if it... Yeah, especially with this being the first safety car of the season, I don't know why you'd expect there to be another one. But maybe we'll I'll try and find out, if we can, why Schumacher has gone for the ultra softs, because that does definitely for us too just doesn't seem to make any sense. Geordie will definitely be happy with this, because he now finds himself right on the back of Jon Palainen again, although he does have a lot older tyres. Undefined pitted to go back onto the super soft tyres, so again an interesting strategy, because I can't see them lasting until the end as he tries to catch his way back up to the train. He was involved in that, yeah, he definitely pitted at the end of lap 1, and we can see there he has done 2 stops, so... Yeah, of course he will have had to change to the super softs because you have to run 2 different types of tyres, but I'm surprised after his 2nd stop he's gone back to the super softs, but maybe they've got a grand plan up his sleeve. We'll soon find out. I can't imagine the safety car staying out for too much longer. This will of course help them save fuel, save the tyres, so it'll be more of a push towards the end of the race. But yeah, he'll be helping. He may not know. He probably won't know that Slimbo has that drive-through penalty, of course. But you'd imagine if you were, yeah, you'd imagine if you were Slimbo, you'd want to, as soon as it goes green, the lap after, get into the pit lane, get it served. At least you will come out into fresh air with all the field being this closely packed together under the safety car. Ibrahim in 3rd place as well. Fandy losing out slightly in those pit stops, perhaps to get down into 5th position. Yeah, I mean Slimbo's going to have to do a lot more tyre warming up, I feel, to make sure these soft tyres have got the temperature in for the start of his stint. I mean, depending on how long this... I can't imagine this safety car going on long enough so Schumacher can go the rest of the race without stopping. But if it goes a few more laps, you never know if Undefined might be able to eke him out to the end on the super softs. There's your answer. So Slimbo will now taking it very slowly indeed. He's already building up his ERS, he's into the overtake mode, so I think he's getting ready to defend for his life. He'll know Schumacher should have a lot more pace on these opening few corners at least. DRS won't be enabled straight away, I don't believe, so that might be a bit of a saving grace for Slimbo. Could all get very, very exciting. Yeah, I think he'll have to at least serve one lap. DRS is enabled straight away, so they'll be able to use it on the back straight. So we are racing again with 17 laps to go in America, as everyone kept it nice and clean. Ibrahim very late braking there. Everyone seems to have done well through the first few corners, kept it together, no real changes. Now through the S's, you'd expect Schumacher to have a lot more grip than Slimbo. So it could get very interesting at the end of this back straight here. You can see already he's having to drive within himself just to avoid crashing into the back of Slimbo. He's already pulled a second ahead of Ibrahim. Is he going to have a go before the back straight even? No. Slimbo locks up slightly, but you'd imagine this is a matter of when the move's going to happen, not if it will happen. A good exit indeed from Slimbo. That has perhaps saved him for just a bit more. As mentioned, I think he has got 3 laps in which he will have to come in to change onto to serve his drive-through penalty, which will put him right down to the back of the field. Schumacher's going to need, I imagine he'll have wanted to get past straight away just so he can use those ultra soft tyres as much as possible, but the order has pretty much remained the same, and Slimbo not diving into the pit, so perhaps he's thinking hold Schumacher back maybe. Yeah, I think he'll have been disappointed, and Slimbo again getting a good exit just before the DRS zone, using his car well just to make it a bit too hard for Schumacher to get past him. And Ibrahim beginning to create a bit of a train behind him. He's got Hasnain and Frandy Thompson right behind, with Schnitzel and Mario, Breezy, Jomberline and Geordie, Undefined and Professional, all not really that far away from Ibrahim. Geordie getting himself another 3-second time penalty, so I believe that's 6 seconds in total. Could all add up. Both drivers, Slimbo and Schumacher, got a bit sliding out of the turn 11 there, but I think again Slimbo's just too far ahead. So it's going to go on another lap, you feel, this battle. Before then Slimbo will definitely have to come in to serve that drive-through penalty. He's built up a 2 point. Yeah, see, Geordie's not got past Jon Palainen either, and he's on older tyres. He's definitely going to struggle towards the end of the race. Breezy and Super Mario are on the same age tyres as him, but I believe they've not got any penalties. Slimbo in the pits at the moment. DRS enabled once again, so Slimbo comes into the pits. We will see what is happening and where he'll come out. He'll come out dead last, of course, but he won't be able to change tyres either, so he's going to find it hard to catch his way up. But Schumacher finally getting the free air that he would have wanted a couple of laps ago. Yeah, maybe just sharing setup perhaps. All cars, of course, are based on the Mercedes, so maybe they've just set their cars up well to try and save the rear tyres as well and just be quick out of those corners. A few people here mentioning, Stan, that they're having a few problems hearing you, so I'm not sure if there's any slight settings you can change. Pedro kindly informing us that, of course, but the advantage of crashing out. Perhaps we'll ask him what caused the crash. And Schumacher 2.7 seconds ahead of Ibrahim. So Thompson, he's working his way up to third. He got a podium in Canada earlier on, so he's definitely a fan of the North American circuit. Maybe he'll be able to carry this on in Mexico, which will be next week. Got a bit edgy on the end of that corner there. So it's now Schumacher, Ibrahim, Randy Thompson, the top three, as the Norwegian gets himself a penalty. Then Hasnain, Schnitzel, Mario, Breezy, Jompalainen, Jordi, Undefined Professional and Slimbo, who will have to fight his way back up the field. The rain, perhaps. Oh, that could make it very interesting, and that would definitely explain why Schumacher and Undefined went for softer tyres. Who are weeks down? We saw Ibrahim mentioned right at the start of the stream, rain at the end. I thought he meant the end of qualifying. Yeah, great tactics by Schumacher. I know he's a bit older than some of the other guys, perhaps using that wise head and that experience to be careful with the weather. Pedro saying that he just lost the car and he never really had oversteer at that part of the track, so did not expect it at all. Just caught out one of those things. It's definitely just as long as it stays at this level of rain, you'd be able to cope with it, but if it gets any heavier, you'd expect to see, especially those lower down the order with nothing to lose, coming to the pits for intermediate tyres. Lap 16 now, Schumacher, Ibrahim and Randy Thompson, the top three. Randy all over the back of the Force India, and then Hasnain, Schnitzel, Super Mario, Breezy, Jompalainen and Jordi, the two title contenders, battling for 8th and 9th at the moment. That would put Jompalainen 3 points ahead overall, Undefined in that final points position. At the moment, I said the Constructors' battle could be won by Williams, but with them in 4th and 8th at the moment, it would carry on into Mexico. This is where the drivers will really earn their money if they were getting paid in these conditions. Yeah, Randy definitely having a bit of a dummy there, but that could just allow, if Hasnain was a bit closer, that'd give him a chance to get close as well. Randy definitely seems to be coping well as it's got cooler and darker in this race. He did really well at the start. Maybe he just had a bit of a bad qualifying, but you can already hear on the throttle there he's having to lift off slightly, where perhaps he could have been flat out in dry conditions. Schumacher's now got the lead up to 4 seconds. Jordi and Jompalainen closer than ever. Jordi's going for it down the inside. Did Jompalainen just get caught out slightly by the weather there? He's still got a chance. He's on the outside. They've both got DRS heading into turn 1. Jordi has it covered though. He is in 8th place at the moment. Slimbo's moved himself up to 11th as well, further back. Jordi, of course, does have penalties. I don't believe Jompalainen has any, so as it stands, that would drop the American out of the points, but he's doing well to consider he's got older tyres. He'll be hoping to get past Breezy and Mario as well now. Yeah, and that's allowed Hasnain to close up again, although Randy did get a slightly better exit than the Williams. It's going to take a late lunge from either of them. We've seen Randy think about it earlier. He locks up. Yeah, I think Ibrahim's wise to that. He went defensive very early, but that's just compromised him through these corners. Schumacher now nearly 5 seconds ahead. He's going to be thinking, if it's going to start raining heavy, he needs it to do it right now. Otherwise, the race is going to come back to these guys. Yeah, shows you've definitely got to pay attention to strategy. That will, of course, if he has, maybe he's gone for a slightly wet setup as well. We do not know. But being 11th on the grid, he had free choice of tyres, and he's used that to perfection at the moment. Lap 18, he has a 4.8 second lead now over this battle for third. And I thought Randy Thompson was going to have a go through the S's there. He got very close to the back of Ibrahim. Yeah, perhaps a chance for him to get on the podium as well. He got 4th last time out in Japan. His best finish of 3rd so far in Monaco. Mario, he's pulled away from Breezy slightly to catch up to the back of this. So once again, Ibrahim's having a bit of a train behind him. Randy's a bit further back from Ibrahim, so he's having to go slightly defensive now from Hasnain, although the McLaren does seem to have a lot more straight line speed than the Williams there. Yeah, catch up to the back of Ibrahim yet again, and this has been the first lap for a bit where Schumacher has not extended that gap, and it's beginning to come down now. The rain's coming down a slight bit faster, but I don't think it's enough for anyone to really bother with intermediate tyres at the moment. Yeah, so Randy Thompson already alongside Ibrahim. The Force India, of course, not having DRS, and he's done it. So Randy Thompson up to 2nd, but gets very wide there. Ibrahim not able to take advantage, and Joe Breezy pits. So he's had enough of those soft tyres, and I said I didn't think it was wet enough for anyone to go to the intermediates. He obviously thought he had nothing to lose. Yeah, you'd imagine, unless Schumacher comes in for intermediate, he's going to have to come in for some tyres at some point. It's whether it rains enough for it to be the intermediates or not. Randy gets it wrong through turn 11. Ibrahim trying to take advantage of that. Has that compromised him? Be interested to see what Breezy's lap times are. I'd imagine he's still going to lose time. He'll just overheat those intermediates at the moment as Thompson goes defensive. Ibrahim has a look. Not able to do anything. Hasnain not able to take advantage either. Schnitzel and Super Mario waiting in case there is any error from these. Jompel, Aynan and Geordie not really catching up at the moment. Randy going very defensive there into that turn at the end of this stadium section, and that's just allowed Ibrahim to catch up slightly, but you're not able to pass through this part of the circuit. They're all beginning to find it very tricky out there indeed. Schnitzel has pitted in the Sauber, so we'll just see quickly what tyres he goes on. Geordie and Slimbo pitting as well. Is this where some of the drivers decide it's intermediate time? Especially with Schnitzel and Slimbo pitting. I imagine Geordie's tyres were getting pretty worn out anyway. Yeah, they have all gone for intermediates. Professional coming in as well. The rain's definitely getting heavier. Randy Thompson off through the S's. Have Schnitzel, Geordie, Slimbo, Professional, and Breezy caught this right. And you can see, I think Breezy was ahead of Professional before the pit stops, but he's going to be used to these tyres now, so he could catch right up to the back of some of these other cars. So Randy Thompson there, he locked up both front tyres going into the turn 11. That's just a sign of how wet it is. I think DRS is still enabled. Ibrahim using that to go round the outside of Randy Thompson. Randy just holding on. Slight contact between the two. Can Hasnain and Super Mario get involved in this battle as well? McLaren last in the constructors at the moment. It's great to see them high up. Touch between Thompson and Ibrahim. And it all pretty much evens out the same as it was. But will these guys be coming in? You'd have to imagine they will. Hasnain having a look on Ibrahim there. But I think they're more coming in. Yeah, I think they're just going to feel more. Oh, we saw him do that in qualifying as well. He hit the wall. The positive is he's missed the wall. The negative is he's not got into the pits. I think they may be similar sector times, but I think they just feel more confident. And it was Super Mario actually, I think, who overshot, not Randy Thompson. Super Mario carrying on for one more lap on very worn, soft tyres. He's going to find it very tricky to keep it going. We'll have a look what the order is after these guys have pitted, but I think we can see how good the choice was to pit earlier on. Geordie and Slimbo have got themselves up to 5th and 6th when they were in the lower reaches of the points. Mr. Bread mentioning that Hasnain has jumped everyone in the pits. He's still in 4th place. Geordie getting himself another penalty. It'll be interesting to see how all that adds up at the end of the race. Yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Not sure who that is for, but Schumacher's got a 6-second lead at the moment. There's a battle behind Slimbo, Schnitzel, Geordie and Hasnain for 3rd place. For Haas and the Williams side by side coming down the back straight, heading towards turn 12, and Geordie could get 2 cars in one go here perhaps. Just gets past Hasnain, but not close enough to get past Schnitzel. So Geordie, from what looked like to be a disastrous race, he's up to 4th, but of course we still have penalties to apply. But Jon Palainen down in 11th shows how important it was for these guys to pit early on. Yeah, it was a genius strategy. We just were playing kiddom with all the viewers. We knew what was going on, obviously, but and Super Mario indeed pits now. He could come out nearly in last place here. That's how bad it's been struggling to pit early on. Geordie going down the inside now of Schnitzel. No DRS of course because of the wet weather, and that's Geordie up to a provisional podium slot at the moment. He's going to be wanting to get clean air just to reduce the impact of the penalty. He's 7 seconds on track behind Schumacher, and I do not believe there are any penalties for Schumacher at the moment. Yeah, you can see how much more confidence he's got than Schnitzel at the moment. He's already made it 2 seconds at the moment. Showing the pace that has got him only a chance of winning the title, but he runs wide. They're out of turn 11. Hasnain still trying to get past Schnitzel. You'd be surprised to see any risky moves in these conditions. It's not something they will have expected too much. They will have practiced, of course, a bit. But you'd expect dry weather at the majority of the races, so it's not something they'd focus on too much. Further back, the 2 McLarens swapping for 6th and 7th. Randy Thompson getting back past Mario, but Mario attacking again. Definitely no team orders going on here today. Hipari commenting, what a race. Big slide from Schnitzel. He's just staying ahead of Hasnain at the moment. I said no penalties for Schumacher. There's one of them. So we'll just have a quick look to see if that is the only penalty for Schumacher. It is at the moment, so he has a net 11.5 second lead over Geordie, but with the pace Geordie's showing. Schnitzel, I thought he was heading towards the grass there. That is brave in these conditions from Hasnain. Schnitzel still going to have the inside though for the Asses. And he's defended well. Last race it was Jon Palainen who couldn't get past Schnitzel, and I think he must have some sort of magnet that's repelling these Williams because they just don't seem to be able to find a way past him. And all this allowing Slimbo to catch back up, perhaps even a chance for him to get a podium after his earlier drive-through penalty. Schnitzel very slow there through turn 9 and 10. Is that going to give Hipari a chance before the back straight even? He has done it. So Hipari now Hasnain, I should say, up to 4th place, but Schnitzel got a much better exit. It's just gone straight back past him. He's having to go defensive now, coming into turn 12, 6 laps to go. Hasnain going for a move round the outside. Has he overrun it? Slimbo in the background definitely seems to have run very wide, and Schnitzel still just ahead. Hasnain now has the inside for here, and I think he's blocked off the cutback, and that should be that. So I say that, Schnitzel's having another go, and Hasnain's gone very wide. Slimbo up to 4th place for briefly there for a second, and somehow after all that action, we're still pretty much in the same order we were at the start of the lap. That is a good feature of this track, I think, the ability to carry on the battles through many of the corners, Stan. So lap 24 now, Schumacher leading by 3.3 seconds from Geordie. Vandy, and that is Vandy. I think he went for a very brave move there on Hasnain and just a bit too eager. Down in 11th place. Just to add insult to injury, and in all that, Slimbo has managed to get past Schnitzel and Hasnain, so the Force India driver up to 3rd place at the moment. I said it'd be hard for Geordie to win this race. He's catching up at some rate of knots, about 2 seconds a lap with Schumacher. It could just be about how long can the Mercedes hold off from Geordie, because I imagine the Haas will get past him eventually, but if Schumacher can hold on long enough, he could get his 2nd win of the season. Yeah, Herman Tilke, the track designer, does get a lot of criticism, but he's definitely got it right here. Maybe that's the advantage of taking some of the sections from other circuits that have proved to be good for overtaking over the years. Yeah, you can just hear on the throttle how hesitant everyone's been. Mario getting close to Hasnain and Schnitzel there, as you said. In the background, Jon Palainen's made his way up to 7th position. Mr. Bread saying with Jon Palainen this far down, Geordie's the championship winner. Well, as it stands at the moment, with Geordie in 2nd and Jon Palainen in 7th position, Geordie would be 9 points ahead going into the final 3 races. If he gets 6 seconds ahead of Schumacher, that would help a lot, and he is all over the back of the Mercedes through the S's. Yeah, lost a lot of time there, and Geordie all over the back. Doesn't want to go for anything too stupid. Trying to stay off the curbs, of course, because they are extremely wet, but Geordie's having a go. Runs over the curb there, gets away with it, I believe. Down the inside. Has he gone too late on the brakes? Schumacher should have a lot better exit indeed. So he said he lost a lot of time. Maybe he's got involved in some slight collision with a wall, maybe out of the final corner, because that's really the only corner where you're very close to the wall. Oh, so that could definitely play into Geordie's hands. And Slimbo's catching up as well. He's 4.5 seconds behind this battle. I'd say battle. I think Geordie's pretty much cleared Schumacher now. So it's... you can see just through these right-handers. He's struggling an awful amount, is the Lebanese driver. In these conditions, downforce is so important. He's not really going to gain anything from pitting, so he's just going to have to hold on as much as he can. Slimbo in 3rd. Yeah, 6 seconds gap. I believe Slimbo has 1 penalty as well. Perhaps more, so this could be interesting. Yeah, you'd imagine Geordie clearing Schumacher's no trouble. I'll just have a quick check on Slimbo's penalties. He has 2 penalties, so he only needs to be 3 seconds ahead of him. So it is looking good for Geordie at the moment, as long as he can keep clean on the final few laps. Easier said than done in these conditions. Jompalainen is now behind his teammate. If there was a way he was directly communicating with Hasnain, you'd imagine he'd be telling him to get out of the way pretty sharpish. Yeah, Geordie, if he wins and Jompalainen is in 7th place at 16 points, Geordie would be ahead. We see a Toro Rosso going very wide in the background of Undefined. Jompalainen up to 6. This has definitely become damage limitation for him. Will he be able to get past Super Mario as well? Slimbo all over the back of Schumacher. This could get very interesting in the final few stages. Schumacher has all this damage. Could be a cork in the bottle, ready to explode with the field catching him up at the moment. Slimbo losing a lot of time behind. Should have the move done though into the final corner. Schumacher hanging on him. Seems to be affecting him a lot more through right hand corners when that side is loaded, of course. But is he going to be able to brake later than Slimbo? I very much doubt it, and Slimbo is up to 2nd position at the moment. So Schnitzel, the next guy who's going to have a go at Schumacher. Mario just behind as well. Can he get a podium in his first race this season? Randy Thompson's moved his way past Ibrahim, who's dropped down to 9th after a promising start to the race. And it's not out of the question here. Yeah, so it's not out of the question that Jompalainen can manage to get away onto the podium here. Looking at the lap time, the amount of laps spent on the tyres, you can see how important it was that Geordie and Slimbo and Schnitzel pitted when they did, because it's definitely helped them move back up the order. I think they got the crossover just perfect. Schnitzel on Schumacher, Mario perhaps trying to go around the outside as well. Schumacher holding on as much as he dares. Said Jompalainen can get a... Jompalainen is staying back slightly, I think, just in case there is any damage from this. He doesn't want to lose any. Mario's managed to get past 2 in one go. He's up to 3rd. He'll be looking to get away now as Geordie gets ready to start his final lap of the race. 7 seconds ahead of Slimbo. Schnitzel and Schumacher touch. The Jompalainen up to 4th. Hasnain's got past Schumacher as well. To say he was in the lead a few laps ago, it's very possible that he could end up with no points here, the sole Mercedes driver. Yeah, Hasnain, I think, maybe had a bit of an issue there as well. And it's through this section where Schumacher's just holding everyone up. Super Mario gets a penalty. That'll be music to Jompalainen's ears. That will put him on the podium, I believe. I think that's at least the second one that Mario has, and if Jompalainen has any, I haven't seen his name multiple times. Schumacher getting a penalty there for multiple warnings. So it's all began. Yeah, I think Mario may have 2 though. Randy Thompson getting past Hasnain there. Ibrahim getting past Undefined. That's where all the action is looking to be. Hasnain and Randy Thompson down the back straight. Can the Williams driver do anything? Breaks as late as he dares. Randy's trying to have a go at Schumacher as well. This battle is going to run and run right up until the final corner, you feel. Hasnain doing the cutback on Randy Thompson there, just cutaways. So Geordie took the win there. Apologies for the slight connection issue that seems to have hit right at the end of the race, but it was a great And it's showing Slimbo as the winner, actually, across the line. So I'll have to check the results at the end here. Not sure if Geordie got another penalty near the end there. But either way, Geordie will be extremely happy with what has happened with the championship situation at the moment. So we'll just have a quick look through the standings. So yeah, apologies for the issues there. So the standings are not coming up. I will try and clear up as quickly as possible how this race ended, but it looked like it was Geordie coming across the line in first position. We did know we had some penalties. So, Stan, did the results didn't come up there for me? Slight issues. Can you confirm the order for us all? Yep. Yeah, gutting for Pedro, but fantastic race from Geordie. He's now taken the championship lead by 9 points going into Mexico, and he seems to have the momentum with him at the moment. Jon Polainen's not had the best couple of races. Did manage a podium here, though, after penalties, but he'll have been hoping for more after qualifying ahead of his rival. So that is it for this round. We will see you next week out in Mexico. Yeah, good race for you to make your commentary debut on. Hopefully they're all that filled with action. No worries, we will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching.